Okay, for the first one, I've got 2 of these galvanized smushed bucket thingies from the Dollar Tree, and I have one of their wood planks. Now, I'm going to cut this wood plank in half, okay? So, I'm just going to measure it, and then I'm going to find the center. But it wasn't an exact length. So, what I do is I match my line. So, if I'm, alright, see that, line by my hand there? I'll move over one line, and then there'll be one line on the other end. Or I'll move over 2 lines, and there'll be 2 lines. You'll see right there. See? It was just a smidgen, which is one line. So there's one line extra on one end and one line extra on the other. And that makes it 12 right down the middle, because it would be on a 24. So that's just the way I do things. I don't know. I'm weird. So I'm going to take my knife. And most of these boards are just thin MDF. So you can take a knife and just score across and score across, and then it'll snap. And I will tell you, I lost my footage on the snapping. That edge was a little weird with the thing, so I did it on the back, but it snapped clean. You'll see, I just jumped to this. I'm sorry, y'all. I do have Dollar Tree rub-on transfers down there, and that's what I'm going to put on my galvanized buckets. Now, I'm not going to paint these or anything right yet. I am going to do something to them, but for right now, no paint, and I'm just going to cut out my things there, and I don't know why in the world the flowers one, I noticed when I was cutting it, I thought it was kind of funny. It's got a wash and dry on it. You see the dry over there on the upper right hand corner. It's just, what the world does that have to do? Do you wash and dry your flowers, but it says laundry service? I don't know. Weird. Way to go, Dollar Tree. You're funny. But anyway, I put this down in the middle, and I look at it like I can move it, because you can't. Because once you stick it, it's stuck. And also, if you touch it with your hands, it's going to come off on your fingers. So you don't want to do that. And then I'm just going to take a paint stir stick that I cut and rounded. I sanded it until it was smooth and round. And that's what I use. And it is the best scraper to put these things down. So I'm just going to scrape it until it comes off. And it doesn't take much effort. So that's what I'm going to do with this one right here. These pull up pretty easy most of the time. If they don't, you just lay it back down and burnish it and pull it up again. Now I was going to put a saying on it, but I'm just going to take these, and they all won't fit, so I'm just going to cut these off and put these 3 on. So I'm just going to do the same thing, and I'm going to put them down. Y'all, I'm wobbling back and forth because I got music going. But anyway, I'm just going to put these on, and then I'm going to take my stick, burnish it down, and do the same thing. Okay, now, got my 2 buckets, and I got them ready. I'm going to take Mod Podge, okay? I want them to look rusty. The handles are rusty, but the bucket is not. So I'm going to take Mod Podge, and I'm going to put Mod Podge wherever I want rust spots. And then I'm going to take cinnamon, and I'm just going to push cinnamon on here, or spread it on here, sprinkle it on here. I ended up making a stinking mess is what I done. But it was fun, and it smelled good, so it was alright. But I'm just going to take my cinnamon, and I'm going to put it on here, and wherever I, like I said, want rust spots, you'll see me as I go, okay? Now I knock off what I got on there that's extra. I just tap it and tap it off. And then I'm going to get another brush, and I'm going to dip it in Mod Podge, and then I am going to just brush over this. And what this does is it gives it the more of a rust effect and not make it look like powder. Plus, it holds your powder down. Or your cinnamon, not powder, whatever. You know what I'm saying. And so I'm just going to keep doing this back and forth until I get the look that I want. Okay, now, I got them where I want them. I'm pretty satisfied. I am really liking this, okay? And that's the second one. You see the wet Mod Podge. I got to set these over here and let them dry and clean up my mess and wash my hands. Okay, now I've got everything cleaned up. Well, for the most part. And I've got these 2 little hooks, and I've just got a stash of hooks, y'all. And, you know, sometimes I take them out of projects or things that I've had laying around, and I don't throw away anything because you never know when you're going to need it. But I'm just putting them in these pliers, and then I'm going to take my needle nose, and I'm going to spread that open to make a hook. Not a ring, but I need a hook. So now I'm going to take my pink tool. I love this thing. It's actually a scoring, piercing thing you get from the Dollar Tree, but it's pink, so I call it the pink tool. You know, I can do that because I can. But anyway, I'm just going to take this and I am going to start my hole. And I'm trying to find the middle of this, and I used my bucket to find out where I needed it, and then I just push down, and then you just start twisting yours in. Now this is a little short one, but if you have a longer one, you can stick a piece of wood on the back, as long as it's thin enough, and screw it into that for more stabilization, if that's what you call it. But to get them even, I'm just going to put these boards together. Then I'm going to take my ruler, and see where my fingers are up there. I'm checking to make sure that's flush, and then I know that my hole will go right there. So that's that right there. Then this is what it looks like hanging on them, and they're even. It don't look like it, but they are. And I'm just going to add greenery. I got boxwood from Walmart, of course, always, and lavender from Walmart. And then these white flowers come from I don't know where. I think Hobby Lobby, but I'm not sure. And I'm just going to stick them in there and do both my buckets the same. Then I give myself a big thumbs up because it looks good to me. So I was originally going to put these, you know, these little shoestring things back in, but it looked a little bare. So I'm going to take a piece, and this is just twine that I had, and I cut it in half. I cut it the same length or whatever. And I'm going to take and put some Tite Bond on there so that it will, you know, get a little hardened and you can shove it through there. So I'm just putting Tite Bond on it, and then I'm going to twist it up and let that dry. It don't take long. That's why I use Tite Bond. And I'm going to do that on both ends so that I can shove that through. Actually, you only have to do it on one end, and if you put it in, you can pull it all the way through, knot it, and then pull it up through the other one, and, you know, you'll figure it out. If not, do both ends. And then all I'm going to do is when that's dry, I'm going to just shove it through the hole. And then I'm going to tie a knot, because I think the knots look better on the front. It gives it a little more something something. So that's what I'm going to do. You can add a bow. You can do whatever you want. But I just keep them plain and simple. And that's what I'm going to do. So in just a minute, you'll see both of them. Alright, there we go. Finished product. And I love them. I love them. So for this one, I'm going to take one of these deviled egg things. And it came from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to spray paint it. And this is ultra matte. And then I have a chunk of wood. I'm pretty sure I got this at Michael's, but you can find wood at anywhere. Dollar Tree, anywhere. Then I have this printable that I made. I printed several on it because it's on my laser jet, and I didn't want to waste my ink. And then I have 3 of those eggs. I have Rust-Oleum chalk paint, and we're going to get this going. So I painted it with spray paint, but I don't got to worry about the back because it's clear, so it just looks painted on the back. And it was a little weird finish, but the spray paint gave it a, you know, a coating to put paint on. Now I will say, do not do this. You don't have to do the middle because you're going to be gluing, and don't do the inside of the egg because you're going to be gluing. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm just trying to dull down or, you know, finish painting the outside of this because it looked a little funny, like I said, when I spray painted it. Okay, so now I've got the eggs, and I have a sponge dabber because you can't paint straight on eggs, okay? So I'm going to paint this wood, and the reason that I am painting the wood is because when I put my printable down, I just printed it on regular copy paper, and I don't want it to show through. I want it white, okay? So I'm going to keep painting that until I get it white like I want it. So when I open my eggs, I could have spray painted them, but I ran out of paint. So you just want to dab your sponge on it. It also gives it a regular eggshell look. So all my eggs are painted, and it took 2 coats, and it took a while. I'm just going to tell you. Okay, so right here I'm just going to lay my printable down, and I'm going to use my finger to rub an edge, and I am just going to use this as where I'm going to cut, because I have other designs on this paper and I don't want to cut. So I'm just going to fussy cut around it, you know, not perfect, which I probably should have did it perfect. You'll see what I mean in a minute, because I'm going to leave footage in here and let you see what I done, because, you know, crap happens to everybody. So I put the others to the side, and I'm going to use Mod Podge. Now you just want a thin layer of Mod Podge, okay? And it looks like I'm really pouring it on, but I'm not. It soaks in. And this printable is done on a laser jet. I don't know if I mentioned that in the first, but it's a laser jet printer. So the ink will not smear. Mine only prints black and white, but it doesn't matter. The ink won't smear on here. You can use a regular inkjet printer, and this is what I'm talking about. Look, I didn't get that centered, so I'm pulling it up. Okay. Fixing my wrinkles. I thought, oh yeah, nope, not happy. I just centered the whole stupid thing again. But then I realized this ain't sticking. So now I got to re-Mod Podge. And then I put a butt ton of Mod Podge on there and have to scrape it off. I'm like, what am I even doing with my life right now? Too much Mod Podge will cause this to bubble and wrinkle, and I did not want that. So I'm just going to use my leftover and put it on here. But anyways, an inkjet printer will smear. A lot of inks will. Some do not, so you want to go easy, okay? Especially on this part right here. So I'm going to put a layer of Mod Podge over top to seal it. And this cannot go outside, but it'll be a cute decor for your kitchen. But I do want it sealed nonetheless, and this will help my paper stick better. Make sure you get it around the edges, okay? Now I'm going to set that and let it dry, and I'm going to take this truffle. Now I didn't use Waverly Wax because I cannot get my glue to stick to Waverly Wax very well, so I'm using truffle. And I'm just going to dry brush along this tray. I'm not going in the eggs per se, but I'm just going over it. And I won't go in the middle, but I'll go around the edge, so that if any of that's showing, that it's, you know, it's distressed or matches. So I'm just going to do this. I don't know why I'm leaving all this in. I guess I really wanted y'all to see what I'm doing here, because it's here. So it's whatever. Okay, I think I'm done. Alright. Now this was not working. But anyways, I'm pushing my paper down to make sure my edges seal, because you really want your edges to seal. Now, I thought that the fan brush could make little specks. And I know I'm jumping around like, you know, squirrel, you know, but I can't help it. This didn't work. So I put the fan brush up, and I grab the Dollar Tree brush, and I'm just flecking. What the world? That's flicking specks. You're flecking. I'm flicking specks on my eggs. Now, you don't have to do this if you want store-bought eggs. Not all eggs have speckles, but mine do. This one I got a little heavy-handed. You'll see in a minute. It just like, Anyway, so I take these, and I just kept going. I don't know what I was thinking, but I ended up just taking a territorial beige. It's just acrylic paint, and I painted them all brown. So I have some brown eggs and some white speckly eggs. And then I flip them over and just speckle the underside. I am sorry for my randomness, y'all. Just, it is what it is today. Now I'm just taking my sander, and I'm going really, really fast. No, I'm just kidding. I sped it up. Y'all know that. But anyways, I'm just taking my sander, and I'm going in a downward motion, and this paper just falls off. This is the easiest way, you know, because I'll slice the wood and Lord knows what trying to get this. Now I'm just going to sand the edges and distress it just a little bit. And now I'm going to take Walnut Distress Oxide and a makeup brush. I love this thing. and I'm going to distress around. Now, you don't have to sand it if you do this, and I didn't realize, that I was going to put it on the edges like this, but you don't got to distress it at all if you don't want to. It's just what I like doing, so I'm just going to take this little makeup thing and go around it and make sure I get all the edges, and then just slide it across the middle to put spots in it. And I love it. I love how it looks. It is so pretty. Then I want this in the middle, but I don't trust just hot glue, even though hanging it in the kitchen. Now you can use E6000 or whatever, but I had this Fix-All adhesive, and I'm going to put 2 lines in there and then hot glue, not touching the 2 because I don't know, it'll interact and won't hold. And then I'm just going to press this as close to the middle as I can. Okay. Now I have the moss, and I get this at Hobby Lobby because I feel like I get more bang for your buck at Hobby Lobby. That's just me. If you want to get it at the Dollar Tree, Walmart sells it, wherever you want to get it. That's, it's up to you. And on these egg holes, my eggs stuck up too far, and I didn't want that. So I'm minimalizing. I cannot believe I said that. The amount of moss that I'm putting in here, because I'll fill it in later. My mind is like squirrel. I can't focus today. I don't know what is wrong with me, but I'm going to do all my egg holes. So to fill in that gap around there and not make it look so holy, or not holy, I don't know what it looks like. But anyways, I take my hot glue, okay, and I'm just putting my ends together so it's not frayed. And I'm going to add glue to the side of the thing, the side of the plastic thing, and the side of the wood right there to make it stick down, because if you put it in the bottom, it's not going to touch it, or I was afraid it wouldn't. So I'm going to do this all the way around. When I get to the end, I'm going to cut it off just straight across, and that will butt up with the other one perfectly and almost look seamless. I mean, well, I'm going to put something up there, of course. You know me, I'm a bow girl, so there will be a bow up there. But I'm going to cut it off straight. Then I'm going to just finish gluing it, and I'm not worried about the fraying of it because it'll lay right down in there, and it's not unraveled yet, so it's good to go. Now, once I get this down in there, I am going to take and start laying my eggs in, trying to figure out if I could do one and then the other and one then the other, and I notice I can't. I don't have enough, so I'm going to do 2 white, 1 brown, 2 white, 1 brown. Now, if you have all brown, that's up to you. If you have all white, that's your business. This is just how I'm doing mine because I wanted it even, and it actually comes out perfect. I was shocked, but it comes out perfect. Once that has poop on it. Once it gets sorry, y'all. Once I get them down in there, and I'm also right there, I'm placing the holes down because I feel like they were more visible when they were sticking up in the air. So you can do whatever you want. I should have filled the holes in, but I didn't think about it. You can fill the holes in with spackle and then paint over them and put them any way you want to. But my holes were showing too much, so I'm just smushing them down in here like this. Now, if they wiggled any, I hot glued the whole thing back down. I just lifted the egg and then glued all of that moss down. Now I'm just taking little pieces, and this took a minute, and I'm going to glue all the way around and across my eggs. And what this will do, it will glue, you'll have more in there, of course, my ugly head popping in, but you will also have it holding your eggs together, and it's just another way for me to ensure that my doodad's not coming apart, okay? So I'm going to do this all between these eggs. And there it is. I'm just going to trim a little bit because it's scraggly, and then that's a big clump, so I just don't want that there. So I'm going to trim. You don't have to trim. It's just me, and then I'm going to shake the junk out. And now I'm going to take the raffia that came around the egg trays, okay? And I'm going to even it up on one end. I'm swaying to music. I hope that don't make y'all sick. I'm sorry. But I'm going to even them up and put them together again. And I am going to make a little scrappy bow to go on this because I thought it was cute. Okay? Notice I said thought it was cute. Anyway, I'm just going to keep it in and show you how I done this. You may like it. So I got a clip to hold it. Now I got this farm ribbon from the Dollar Tree. And I wasn't even, I just cut it off. It wouldn't come off. But anyway, I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it over and then make my little bow. Trying to get it the size I want it. I'll measure it to the chicken. Then, I don't know. But I don't want to cover up my Farm Fresh or none of my sign. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to measure everything up to this, I guess. These clips, I think I got them at Sally's. I may have got them, I don't know, Sally's, Walmart, or online. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I got them at Sally's, though. But I'm going to fold this ribbon over and make a bow. And y'all, I forgot. I was like, how do you cut this? I'm just going to cut it and maybe it'll look right. Yep, it did. Sometimes I can't remember what I'm doing. But anyway, now I've got this farmhousey ribbon and I got this at Dollar Tree. I want one slightly bigger behind the other one. And this swaying's making me nauseated. I'm so sorry. So I cut my tails the same way. Maybe a different angle. Nope, it's the same way. I'm just going to put all these together. Then I'm going to take a piece. I'm going to clip it. And this clip is going to help me tie it. That's why I love these clips, okay? But I'm going to take a piece of jute string. And I'm going to run it around in those holes of that clip. And then I'm going to tie a knot in the back. And that's just a good way to make a bow and cinch up the ribbons all together, especially when you make a farmhouse bow. And then I'm just going to glue this to the eggs. I think I glued it to the eggs. And y'all, I'm using a Gorilla Glue gun. My husband just bought it for me, and I'm not a fan. I'll just tell you. The wattage on it is terrible, and I just don't care for it. But anyway, I glued that to the eggs, and they popped off. You'll see another bow in a minute, but there's that one. So here is what they look like finished, and I'm so sorry about the lighting. I'm working on that. I glued the scrappy bow. I just tore the other one apart and glued it right on the top, and it's secure with a different glue gun and different glue. And then there's my Farm Fresh from butt to table. That's just my sense of humor. But that turned out so good. And then I absolutely love these. Love them. Probably not going to keep them, but I do love how they turned out. If you like this video, leave me a thumbs up. Until next time, you are a blessing. Goodbye.